It's the next level.
Hmm? Ah!
Just because I'm happy doesn't mean that this isn't real, Hurley.
I was happy too, Jack. For a while, anyway. And I saw Charlie. He likes to sit with me on the bench out on the front lawn. It's pretty cool, actually.
Okay, so what do the two of you talk about?
Well, yesterday he told me you were going to be coming by. He wanted me to give you a message.
A message?
Made me write it down, so I wouldn't mess it up. You're not supposed to raise him, Jack. Does that make any sense?
No, that doesn't make any sense.
You think he means Aaron?
Take your meds, Hurley. Just take them.
Hey, Jack? Charlie said someone's gonna be visiting you, too. Soon.
Welcome to another episode of We Have to Go Back, Lost Revisited, as we continue on our journey into the fourth season of the series. I'm Ben.
I'm Kristen. This week, we move forward with our discussion of Season 4, Episode 10, Something Nice Back Home. Although it should be called, This Is Why We Can't Have Anything Nice.
Why is that?
Because Jack starts to devolve a little bit here.
Yeah, we're going to get into that for sure.
He got nothing nice back home.
No. It's funny, too, because I came up with my theory about about there possibly being two smoke monsters last week.
Yeah.
I have another interesting, I don't want to say theory this week, but tidbit of something interesting I picked up on that I don't know if anybody else did. So we're gonna hold that thought until we get to that point too. But I'm looking forward to it because it was something I noticed on my second watch through. I'm like, wait a minute, that's interesting. Never picked up on that before. So we're gonna get to that point. But for those of you that are new to the podcast, or if you're not, just a reminder, this is a spoiler-full podcast. We're going to talk about things that have happened, as well as things that have yet to happen, as we do every week.
Every week.
Every week.
Here we are. It is Season 4, Episode 10. If you don't know, we have spoilers by now. I'm worried about your health.
Yes. I also want to shout out some, I don't remember, like I'm not going to get specific into names too, but lately over the past couple weeks, there's been messages on Facebook and such of new people now still finding the podcast.
Yay!
So, and they're in their rewatches of Lost. They're not hearing these episodes yet because they're still catching up. But when they get to this episode, please know we're welcoming you into this.
Yes, welcome. And it's fun. You know what? It's fun because this, like, the past year has made us revisit all the television in the whole world, I have gone through more series in the last year than I have in the last 10 years, I think. I mean, I've just turned and burned for the last year. And I think Lost is a really big one because it's something that you can binge really nicely. And I've said this before on the podcast, like, I think that this show is better on a binge. When you space it out and you have writer strikes and season and ending times and hiatuses and stuff like that, I think that we lose steam on the story. But when you binge this show, to me, it makes a ton more sense.
Yeah, I agree with you completely. I think, being able to binge it makes a more cohesive story, maybe is the word, maybe.
Yeah.
Because you're not questioning everything every week. So there's not as many questions in your mind as you're watching it straight through. I'm apologizing to those new listeners when they get to this point, because a couple of them are watching the episode, listening to us, watching the next episode, listening to us. And when they get caught up and they're hearing this, now you're stuck at every week. You're back to every week we are right now. Or you're just going back and rewatching the episode once we post the new episode. So,
and it's also fun because I know that there's some people, at least that I know, that just listen to the podcast and they remember the show. Mm-hmm. And then, there's a couple times where somebody will be like, ooh, I want to watch that episode again. But, I like it that we have a little something for everybody. And then if you don't really like the show, but you like us, well, we go off the rails all the time.
This train never goes right from point A to point B.
But that's okay, because we're not Captain Holt. Meaning we're not always on time.
Yeah, I got it. It took
blah, 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 blah.
It took me a second. But I'm with you. Like I've been rewatching series that I've seen before, and I'm jumping into new ones, and like I'm finally, I was at that point where I was rewatching stuff I had already seen because it was a comfort. Mm-hmm. And now I'm kind of trying to shake out of my comfort zone and introduce myself to series that I've always wanted to watch, and now I'm finally jumping into it. Like we talked about Deadwood last week, which is what I'm finally getting into. You've been pushing Justified on me pretty much all day today, which I'm adding to the list.
It's a no-brainer of a show to watch.
It's on my list. And
I'd like to do a podcast on it.
It was already, that would be an interesting thing, an interesting dynamic to podcast on a show that one of us has seen and the other one hasn't.
I think it would be great.
And to compare notes. But if we were going to do that, that would mean we'd have to wait for Lost to end till we're done with Lost, and I would have to hold off on watching.
No. I want you to watch Justified right now.
All right. Well, I'll be back in like 3 or 4 days, and then we'll continue this episode. No,
I think that sounds like a great idea. Bye. See ya. Thanks, everybody. Thanks for coming out.
Yep,
this was great. This
Short
was super
episode.
fun. Yep.
We'll be back when I'm finished with Justified. Yay.
We discussed the episode. We had one sentence about Jack.
That's true. And I brought up a theory that I never even got to yet. Or not theory, but interesting tidbit. All right, let's jump into the episode.
A tad bit, if you will.
A tad
An
bit.
interesting tad bit. New band name, I call it.
Damn it. There was a new band name I came up with the other day, and I can't think of it. I can't remember. Oh, well. Let's get into the episode, shall we?
Dun, dun, dun.
Season 4, episode 10, as you mentioned, Something Nice Back Home. We're back into another Jack-centric episode. Another flash forward with him off the island. So, where do you want to start with this one?
Where do I want to start?
I don't know. It's a question I ask you.
I would like to start with, I would like to start with Sawyer.
Of course.
So, because there's so much more to talk about with everything else, but I don't want to bypass this at all. I think Sawyer is always at his best when he is in protection mode.
Yeah.
And watching him try and protect Claire and Aaron from Miles was hilarious. It's hilarious to me just because I know that Miles is like harmless. But Sawyer doesn't know that. And I also know that Miles and Sawyer are going to become friends,
Yeah.
So, but at the same time, it's just, he gives Miles a restraining order.
Stay the 20 feet away from Claire.
Yeah. So I like it when you see who he really is. because then you really, you're like, you come to understand why he's going to do what he eventually does, because Jack, towards the end of the episode, talks about Sawyer making the choice to stay on the island. Because Sawyer's first inclination, as selfish and rough as he makes himself out to be, Sawyer's first inclination, especially lately, has been to do what's best for others, for the people that he loves, for Hurley, for Kate, for Sun. And I'm just saying the people of the Oceanic Six. In this case. And in this episode, you can see that that's his first priority was Claire and Aaron, and getting everybody back to the beach. So, and to tie that together, we all know what the favor is that Kate is doing. I think that given what we know about Sawyer, and what is off the island for him, I think that we know what that favor that Kate is doing. I'm not sure why she's not telling Jack, though. Do you remember why?
I don't remember exactly why she's not telling Jack. I think it's more because I think she's protecting Jack. Again, I don't remember correctly. And this is one of the reasons why I like what we're at this point. We mention this every week now that we're at a point where we don't remember everything. So it's fun now to theorize as if we've never seen it before, because we're honestly not remembering. And I think we're at that point with that. Like, I think it's very clear she's talking to Cassidy about taking care of Clementine, which is Sawyer's daughter. But I don't remember exactly the reasoning why behind it, but if I had to take a guess, I think it's mainly because she's just protecting Jack. Like she wants there to be a connection between her and Jack, and which there very obviously is, but she doesn't want to complicate it with the previous things that have happened with Sawyer. Plus, she already knows too that Jack is kind of, at this point in the flash forward, he's kind of written off the island. Like, what happened on the island happened on the island. We're back home. We're safe. So Kate doesn't want to overcomplicate things by bringing up events that have happened in the past. Because Jack doesn't really have an inclination. At this point, it doesn't seem like there's any regard to try and get back to save them.
Well, yeah, but he also is still seeing Hurley. He didn't have to go and visit Hurley. He went because he probably views Hurley as family.
But Hurley is also off the island with them.
No, but I understand that. But if he wanted to put the island behind him, he wouldn't have gone to see Hurley.
That's true.
I guess is my point.
No, that's a good point. That's a very good point.
So, but back to Sawyer, it would be, I just, I don't know. There's just something really, really wholesome about Sawyer in this episode. And I think that we don't get a lot of wholesome in this show very often. So when you get those little wholesome moments, especially when it's wrapped up in a shotgun and a swearing Southerner, I don't know. It was a nice little tad bit, if you will.
And we were even starting to get a little bit of that last week too, when he goes into the house after the house explodes to rescue Claire. He's putting his life at risk to save one of his own. And
he's done that over and over and over again.
And it's a huge leap forward from where we first met this character, who was completely selfish. He was taking things and hoarding them for himself, and now we see a completely different Sawyer, who, you're right, is become a protector now at this point rather than an agitator.
Well, that's interesting that you say that, because I think that he hoarded things because he needed to feel like he was a part of things. That was like his defense mechanism of staying relevant with the other survivors. Maybe he didn't feel a lot of self-worth, or that he was, that he had anything to really contribute like Jack did, like Kate did. And I think him having the meds, or him having all the guns, or him having all the nudie mags, that was his way of staying in control and being a person of interest amongst the survivors. But now he's been put in a leadership position. He's been placed in situations where he has had to make quick decisions about him or others. And I think that as he gets more comfortable with these people and he lets his guard down more and more, that you see that there is this really amazing human being underneath all that rough exterior. And it's just so fun to see him in the role that he should be playing and that he probably always has had underneath him.
And it's interesting too, because when you look forward into next season and what's going to happen to this group, he continues to stay in that role. He becomes like a security chief.
Yeah.
For I'm going to
Sawyer Workman.
Sawyer Workman. Yeah. That's a good point. That's a good way to put it. But he becomes like a head of security.
Yeah.
In the next phase of what we're going to see with this series. So
he settles. You see him, he settles into his self, into his life, into his existence. He's just, this is Happy Sawyer.
Yeah. And he's found a position that he's comfortable with.
Mm-hmm.
So, and he's going to stick with it. So, yeah, I agree. And I think it's fun too, like you said, the scene with him and Miles when he puts the restraining order on Miles. And, so and I'm gonna paraphrase because I don't know the exact line, but when he tells Miles like, do you understand? And Miles kind of touts off a little bit, and he's like, who are you? And he's like, I'm the guy that's gonna put a foot in your face until I hear that you get it. It's just I love the position of it's a position that Sawyer has found that he is good at, and he finds strength in. But at the same time, it's protective. So it's a little bit of both. Yeah. It's something it's a way he can feel safe in his own skin, but also make others feel safe as well. So he's contributing to this group that he's found.
Yes, absolutely, 100%.
So I love it. As far as like people being protective, I want to talk about Jin for a minute here in this episode.
Oh, good, because I love him in this episode.
This moment, and it made me really think about something really hard at this point that really put something into perspective.
Okay.
I'm talking in particular about the scene with Jin and Charlotte. See Juliet, and I love Daniel on this because Daniel is really, he's never lied about anything. Well, I mean, he's lied about things that they've done.
About Morse code?
That Morse code, yeah, I know. I took it back.
He lied last week.
I said it. Yeah. Immediately after I said it, I'm like, no, he's lying.
Never really lied, Morse code.
Morse code. But I mean, like, his intentions are honestly good. He's just following orders. And that kind of comes out this week in, helping Juliet to get all the stuff for Jack's surgery. And we see Charlotte kind of smile when Jin and Sun are talking about how Daniel feels about Charlotte, which is something that's starting to come to light now in this episode. But there's that one scene in particular when Jin starts speaking Korean to Charlotte, saying, I know you can understand me. And when Charlotte pretends and Jin says, I'm going to break every finger of your friend Daniel until you say, like, that's a huge intimidation role for Jin. He
slipped right back into that Mr. Pike role, like right back into it.
But I mean,
Mr. Pike,
yeah,
Pike.
But where he did it at, with Mr. Pake, it was an intimidation move, which it was in this instance too. But before, it was an intimidation move for the sake of aggravation. This is an intimidation move for the sake of protection.
Because he meant it.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I had no doubt. That was not a lie. He would have tortured Daniel to make sure Sun was on that chopper and got off the island.
Yep, 100%.
But it made me think about something. And tell me what you think about this. So, we look at...
Jin wins.
Okay. We look at the others, and we look at the Losties, the survivors, and we see the others as the villains and the Losties as the heroes. But when you really put into perspective the situation, the others, when we meet them at the camp, in the beginning of season 2, they're normal people going about their lives until it comes to protecting their own, with the exception of Ben, who's kind of like the mastermind of everything. But everybody else is kind of like, okay, it's time to protect our situation. Is that not kind of where we are with the Losties now, where they're going about their lives and now they become aggressive to protect their own?
No.
With the people from the freighter coming in.
Mm-mm. No. And this is why. So the others kidnapped children. The others infiltrated their camps and pretended to be other people. The Losties, they have been manipulated, attacked, killed, kidnapped, drugged, left for dead on a consistent basis for the past, let's say, 90 days. And then these helicopter people come in, and they've just been told, I think last week or the week before, that there were orders to have them killed as soon as they got Ben Linus. So yeah, no, they're not going to trust it. And Daniel Faraday was just caught in a lie with the radio. So no, I have to disagree, only because I think that in this case, in all cases, the Losties are just trying to most of them are trying to get home. They're trying to stay alive, and people keep fucking with them.
Okay. I mean, it was literally just something I kind of threw out there.
Yeah. I thought I was with you there for a second. And then when I was really thinking about it as you were making your case, I was like, oh no. I mean, Juliet, Juliet, there are people like Juliet, and then there are people like Ben Linus. And, anybody that did anything on Ben's bidding is complicit.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah.
Juliet was not on the good side for a while. She still was, a part of caging up Sawyer and Kate and caging up Jack and she knew where the kids were, and she knew that Walt was taken. And I mean, these are all things that she was aware of.
She was complicit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. I get it. Again, it was just something that came to my head. It wasn't anything that was exactly flushed out. I really more just wanted to bring it up to see what your thoughts on that would be.
I don't really have any strong opinions.
Okay. All right. I don't think that's true at all. Okay.
I've never been accused of not having strong opinions.
No, never. Not on this podcast or ever in life.
Nope. That's okay.
But I mean, going back to the original point too, though, there was that with that scene with Jin and Charlotte, that was one of those scenes where I was like, ooh, do not piss off Jin. And she thought that she could manipulate him. Yeah.
She, it's like, you don't understand. You guys have been eyeing each other all day. If you haven't realized that he's got you figured out by now, then who's the dumb one?
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. He's not about your bullshit. He's not going to take it.
And then I love it when Daniel's all like, your attitude is why they don't trust us. You've got to calm down.
But I like the difference in tone between people confronting Charlotte in this episode, too. Daniel is obviously doing it at a place from compassion because he very obviously cares about Charlotte. Jin has none of that.
Right.
Jin doesn't know Charlotte. He doesn't like Charlotte. So it's I'm going to break Daniel's fingers.
Yeah.
Because he knows from having done this in his past before that threatening her means nothing.
Right.
But threatening something that she cares about or someone that she cares about, that's how you get the job done. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Jin could have sat there and threatened her, and then she could have just continued to pretend that she didn't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
And then play it off as in he just attacked me or whatever. But no, when you threaten someone that she cares about, it makes that understanding so much clearer.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree.
So, but yeah, that was another great moment from this episode as well.
Mm-hmm.
Where do you want to go?
How about Rose calling Charlotte red?
Well, I mean, I didn't really take anything about that. I found it funny, but calling somebody with red hair red is just.
Well, I just love Rose's overall attitude in this episode, because Bernard is just like, he has an appendix and blah blah blah, and we need to do the surgery and da da da. And why aren't, and so she's like, nobody gets sick on this island. They only get better. Like none of what's happening is normal. And then I started thinking about that, and I'm like, what she's saying is true. I mean, when you think about Ben had a tumor that was getting worse on the island.
Mm-hmm.
Jack had an appendix that was about to burst on the island. So what does that mean? What do you think? That has to mean something.
Well, I mean, it's complicated because you're right. Like, we haven't seen Rose in a while, and then the first time we see her come back, she makes that revelation that had Rose not been in this episode, as viewers, we would have just taken that as in like, oh, Jack's sick. He needs to have surgery. It's over and done with. But along comes Rose and immediately poses the question, well, nobody's asking, why is he getting sick?
Right.
And now you start thinking like, oh, okay, she makes a very valid point. And, I did think about Ben having the tumor and what that means and Jack, and it kind of made it complicated because you can look at the island intentionally letting Jack get sick because Jack intends to leave. So maybe the island is making him sick as in a way of saying like, no, you can't leave this island. But then when you look at it that way, what does that mean for Ben? Because Ben never had any intention of leaving. So how would giving him a tumor keep him on the island when he never had any intention to leave to begin with?
Maybe it's that he wasn't doing what he was supposed to do. Just like Jack isn't doing what he's supposed to do. I mean, Ben's allegiances skewed so far all the time, and he did a lot of lying and manipulating and side changing. And, you don't really have a sense that Ben is in altogether control. And so maybe it has to do with whether or not you're doing what you're supposed to do for the island. Jack wants to leave. Ben wants to control the situation and be above Jacob.
So basically, in other words, the island has a path for you. You're deviating from that path. So
yeah.
This is your punishment.
Maybe, yeah.
Okay, I can see that. It's a little bit more broad of the aspect of saying like, oh, Jack is leaving and whatever. But yeah, I mean, it makes a lot of sense.
Well, and if you think about the people that have been killed so far, you can say that they had no more use. The island had no more use for them either. So, they were just, their lives were just ended. But in this case, Jack still is needed. Ben is still needed. But they're needed in a certain way. Maybe. Yeah. I don't know. I'm just spitballing here because I didn't have an answer to this.
I can see that because we've talked about that before about how, like, when it comes to, and you don't have to say his name, I'll say it for you, Mr. Echo.
Thank you.
And Boone and a couple other people, like, their deaths came on the island because they served their purpose. Same thing with Shannon.
John Locke got Boone killed. Let's just say that.
Okay.
Boone did not have to die.
That is an exception to the rule. But, you look at Libby, you look at Ana Lucia, you look at Shannon, you look at Ethan, from the other side. They served their purpose. And
Roger Workman,
yep. Which is, it makes a lot of sense.
So then that begs the question, maybe we could talk about this next season, is Richard Alpert, the man who never ages, the man who I guess always has a reason to keep going on the island. I mean, he's a big question mark.
Richard, and it's funny too, is thinking about it, I don't remember what the final thing with Richard is. Like, I honestly don't remember if he survives
me neither.
Or not. I don't
Well,
remember.
He survives because I think he's just like a being. I mean, I mean, we were talking about Dogma earlier. He's probably just like, the Alan Rickman. He just kind of like comes in and,
Either
plays
that or
puppet and leaves.
either that or he's a fucking demon. Yeah, I don't remember what the final outcome of Richard's character is. It's going to be interesting when we get to that point again. But yeah, what does that mean for Richard? Like, is he a being whose purpose is never ended, so he's constantly kept around, or is he, in fact, part of the island itself that chooses the path?
Like he's a manifestation of the island.
Or a manifestation of part of the island.
Because he can leave. We know that he can leave.
Oh, what if Richard Alpert is the actual physical manifestation of the island? Like the human manifestation of the island itself?
It could explain why he never
I never thought about that. That's a cool theory.
Let's put that on the back burner. We'll come back to it when we see Richard again.
It's kind of like it's kind of like in Guardians of the Galaxy 2, how Kurt Russell was the actual human manifestation of the planet. That he was part of a planet.
Right. Mm-hmm.
That's pretty cool. And never put that together. I like that.
Well, we could be wrong, but that is a very good idea.
We're probably totally wrong, but I like the idea.
I do too.
Yeah.
We're just going to pretend that we figured something out.
Hey, I came up with the theory of two smoke monsters last week.
Yeah.
We're going to
Let's just keep talking it out. We'll solve all the world's problems by the end of this.
But I mean, that's another thing I love about this series too, is like, yes, okay, I know people have issues with the show because not every question is answered, which I don't care that not every question was answered. I like the fact that not every question was answered because it leads to conversations like this where we can theorize things on our own. Mm-hmm. So like I'm enjoying, like, yes, maybe I had issues with it too when the series first aired. Like, hey, we didn't find out about this. We didn't find out about this. But going back and revisiting it and talking about it, now we can theorize things like this. And it's actually fun that not every question was answered. Mm-hmm. So to everybody out there who's a naysayer of the show because it didn't answer all the questions.
Yeah, but you know what? They're still with us. So
I know. I love it.
It's okay.
Let me see. Let's see. We just talked about Rose and Bernard, so I can cross it off the list.
Well, we didn't talk about Bernard.
No. Well, what do you want to talk about Bernard?
Look, I love it when Bernard is even around, and I loved his bedside manner with Kate.
Yes.
I thought that it was really, really great. And I love it that before he puts Jack out, he goes, "I'm sorry, Jack, but I totally agree here." Yeah. Then he puts him out. But it's funny to me that Bernard, and I made a note about this, that Bernard was not involved in this surgery or going to go get the instruments in the first place from the very beginning, because he was the only other doctor that was there.
Well, but I mean, everything was kind of handled by Juliet. Juliet gave them the list of things that needed to be brought back.
What I'm saying is that she should have given the list to Bernard.
Well, but I think Bernard was also kept behind because he needed to assist in prep.
He was talking to Rose as she washed a surfboard or something like that.
They were cleaning a table.
Well, no, I understand that, but he wasn't doing much, is what I'm saying. And he knows what these instruments look like. And then Daniel Faraday didn't have to go.
That's true. Okay, you make a valid point. You're right. Bernard would have known exactly what to look for without needing Juliet wouldn't have even needed to give them a list. Bernard would have known exactly what he needed. Yeah,
probably. And then he could have been like, oh, you know what? This might be handy too, or this might be handy too, or, oh, maybe she forgot about, he could have come back with more stuff instead of just that list. But, I just like it when, background characters are kind of brought to the front and used more when they should be used more, if they can be used more. But it was nice to see him at least being, playing anesthesiologist.
Well, and I don't want to call him a nurse because he wasn't exactly a nurse. He was assisting with the surgery.
Yeah.
Applying the lidocaine to the area, being in the room helping Juliet with the surgery. But on top of that, talking about this surgery, I want to say right now, and I have it written down exactly like this in my notes, Juliet is a boss.
Yeah.
Like, she is somebody who has really come around to the point where, like, even her bedside manner with Jack beforehand was better than we've ever seen Jack's bedside manner with anybody on this island. Because even still, like, Jack is kind of trying to take control of his own surgery at this point, like telling her, implying that she's doing it wrong when she's shaving his stomach. And she's like, no, I'm just cleaning the area. And
she has unending patience for his arrogance.
Well, but that patience only goes so far. Because even in this episode, like, Jack is trying to keep Kate in there with the mirror. And it gets to a point where she's like, no, Kate, get out.
I had a problem watching that scene.
It's a tense scene.
Well, I'm just like sitting here like, no, I don't need to see it. I'll just listen.
Yeah, but I mean, like, going back to what I was saying, like, it's like Juliet's patience only goes so far with Jack. Because it got to that point where she was fed up and she's like, no, Kate, get out. Bernard, put him under.
Mm-hmm.
And she took no crap. Like, this needed to be done. Jack, you don't need to be awake. I can do this.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm taking control.
Yeah.
And taking control is something Jack is not used to.
No.
And he does not like.
No, because he's incredibly arrogant.
And it's that hero complex that comes back in too.
Because he's arrogant.
So, but yeah, like, Juliet, man, is an absolute boss. And one of the things I really didn't get about Jack in this episode, like, Jack very clearly knew what was happening to him. He's a doctor. He's a surgeon. He knows his symptoms. He knows his appendix is about to burst. But lying to Juliet about it, like, oh, it must be food poisoning. Like, this is going to fucking kill you if you don't
and
get
what
this
were you
fixed.
going to do when you did die? Or if it did burst?
Or, yeah, what was your intent? Were you just going to perform surgery on yourself in your tent with nobody there to assist you? And
if it bursts, there's no fixing that on a remote island.
Yeah. There's no fixing that for a lot of people. If your appendix bursts, a majority of people that die from that because the timeline is so short.
Yeah. Well, it's just so fun. His arrogance knows no bounds.
Especially in this episode.
Yeah.
I mean, like, don't get me wrong. We're still coming to a point where Jack really flips a switch and becomes a version of Jack that we love. But right now, man, he's just you're right. He's completely arrogant. And I mean, I kind of understand no, I don't even want to say I understand where he's coming from. There's certain elements of things that he does. I can understand where he's coming from. He's coming from a point where he wants to get people rescued. He's going to do it no matter what it takes. But to pretend that this is not happening to yourself, when you have people there who can help you, like, there's a point of having a hero complex, but when it applies to yourself, like, that's just stupid.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Because you're right. What happens when he dies? Like, you just leave everybody wondering, and then you leave them with no leadership. It was
better leadership since Sawyer's on his way back.
Yeah, it's just irresponsible.
Yeah,
it was an irresponsible from Jack to pretend that, like, the moment you knew that was happening to yourself, you should have said something.
Yeah, especially to Juliet. You're right. You're right.
Like, pretending you're fine is that's arrogant.
Well, speaking about Jack's arrogance too, watching him tear into Kate about Sawyer was just idiotic.
You mean in the flash forward?
Yes.
Yeah.
Especially because of his arrogance, he was saying Sawyer chose to leave. Sawyer chose to stay. I saved you. I'm the one that did all of it. I'm the good guy. I'm the hero. And it's like, I'm sorry. is Kate really not allowed to do a favor for someone who selflessly jumped out of an effing helicopter to make sure that you guys were going to get to where you needed to go?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
are we really having this conversation?
And that was actually, well, I mean, if you're, as a first-time viewer, you don't know that was what Sawyer's sacrifice was. But even at the same time, from that conversation, even viewing this for the first time, you know, when you compare to what you're seeing of Sawyer in this episode being that protector that you brought up earlier, and then you get this element with Jack saying, like, well, he stayed behind, whatever. Just the fact that Jack mentions he stayed behind, but seeing what Sawyer is doing to protect Claire and protect Aaron, you have to put two and two together to realize
it doesn't add up.
No, not only that, but you have to put two and two together to realize that, okay, if Sawyer decided to stay behind, there had to have been a good reason for it.
Right.
It wasn't just because he was selfishly saying, I'm not going to go.
Especially knowing that Claire's lost in the jungle. He has Aaron. Aaron has now wound up with Jack and Kate. So clearly they've crossed paths before this flash forward.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, as a first-time viewer, you could probably click a lot of things together. It just, to make Kate feel this guilty about it, while at the same time, he's also playing games between both Juliet and Kate, with Juliet saying, oh, well, he kissed me the other day. And, you know, I think he was trying to do this. And then, I mean, I'm glad that she said that, because we're reminded that Jack is, you know, kissing both of them, telling one that he loves her, you know, he's playing this game against the two of them. At the same time, he's making Kate feel horrible about fulfilling a promise to Sawyer because he can't be there.
Yeah.
I mean, it's quintessential peak dickhead Jack Shepherd. I'm glad that we're coming out of this, because there's only so much of this guy I could take.
Yeah. And in all honesty, I think it's this season. We're really seeing the worst of Jack, and then next season we start to go in a different direction with his character, because we've kind of seen the best. We've seen some of the best of Jack already. We've seen in the flash forwards the worst of Jack, and then once we get past the worst of Jack, that arc starts to go back up again.
Yeah,
and he starts gaining more and more points with us as audience members. But I want to just take a quick step back too, when you mentioned, you know, Jack playing both sides of Kate and Juliet. Again, this just speaks to how boss Juliet is. Juliet's not dumb. She realizes that Jack is doing this.
Yeah.
And it's incredibly, like, selfless of her to tell Kate, like, he kissed me. I felt that he was only doing it to pretend he wasn't in love with you. And that's basically Juliet saying, I'm stepping back.
So what's interesting here, and this, I just thought of this while you were saying this, Juliet doesn't play games and doesn't want to play games. But Jack is playing games and loves to play games. Sawyer doesn't like games. He has told Kate time and time again, if you want to use me for sex, use me for sex. That's all you got to say. I don't care. Stop playing these games. Kate loves to play the games. So it's interesting to me that the two people that love playing the little mind games and relationship games end up together, and the two totally normal people that don't like to play games and are very straight up with each other, they end up together.
And you see, out of the two couples, who ends up the happiest?
Yes.
Yeah. Sawyer and Juliet.
Well, that's because they're both awesome.
And you're right. It's because they're very straightforward with each other. They don't have time for games.
Right. And they understand that.
Yeah. So I find that, I love that dynamic, that you're right. You know, Jack and Kate end up together. Look at where they end up in the long run. And Sawyer and Juliet end up together, the two people that don't like playing games. And their relationship only ends over tragedy.
Ugh.
I know. That scene still breaks my heart.
That and Jin and Sun, like we could like just pretend that it doesn't exist.
I will tell you this. I was in a group and somebody posted the question. Actually, our friend Rima posed the question: who was your favorite couple on Lost? And the two top couples,
Sawyer and Juliet.
Sawyer and Juliet, and
Jin
Penny and
Sun.
Desmond.
Oh,
No,
and
Jin,
Penny and
Jin and Sun came up a lot too, but actually I think Penny and Desmond and Juliet and Sawyer were mentioned more than anybody else.
I would say, well, I've said it many times, Jin and Sun for life.
I agree with that, though. I mean, though they are the three, and then I, of course, posted. I'm like, you forgot one, and I posted a picture of Hurley and Charlie.
Oh, good. Good.
That's another great couple from Lost.
Or Charlie and Desmond.
And Charlie and Desmond. And when I posted that picture, Rima replied, she's like, this totally counts.
Yeah.
So
was it a gif of them doing the golf dance?
The golf dance.
The golf dance.
I almost posted that, but I did. But I did. That is one of my favorite gifs on Facebook. Is that one of Hurley and
the
Charlie
thing is that it's such a good one that everybody that's listening knows exactly what we're talking about.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. While we're on the note of Jack in the flash forward, we're starting to see we've seen two different Jacks when it comes to the flash forward. We've seen the absolutely broken, we have to go back Jack. And then we saw the one that was back to work and happy with Kate and everything. This is the episode where we start to see, here's the moment the boulder starts rolling down the hill.
And it was Hurley that did it.
It was a combination of Hurley and seeing his father. Because the moment he asks his doctor to write him a script for clonazepam, and then later on that night, he's taking that clonazepam with a beer, you're like, okay, this is where it begins.
Okay, but would he have seen his father if he didn't visit Hurley? And is Hurley sick in the head because he's gone off script for the island?
I don't think Hurley is sick in the head at all. I think Hurley is legitimately a guy who just does not know how to process what is happening to him. I think he is legit being visited, and he thinks he's crazy because he doesn't realize that it's not real.
No. I understand that. I understand what you're saying. What I'm saying is that is it caused because he's gone off of his island path by returning home?
I think that's exactly what this is. I think this is the island trying to get them back on their path.
But Kate being happy and everything working out in the trial for her, that should tell us all that Kate's not needed at the island anymore.
Well, I also want to back up for a minute because I want to take that back. I don't think this is the island putting them back on their path. This is the Man in Black putting them back on their path. Because because remember, we've mentioned that both Jacob and the island and the Man in Black are using these people as their pawns.
Right.
To get what they both have a purpose against each other, and they're both using everybody for that purpose. Because this is where I picked up on something interesting, and I'm going to get into this now. First off, hospitals do not have smoke detectors with batteries. They are hardwired into building security so that they can be monitored. So there would never be a smoke detector beeping like that because it needs a battery change. So let's write that off right now. That was a mistake on the writer's part, but I get why they did it. Here's the interesting thing, though. Christian Shepherd shows up for Jack. What starts happening? A smoke detector goes off.
Oh, interesting.
Never picked up on that before, because that form of Christian Shepherd is the Man in Black, who can also take the form of the smoke monster.
I love that.
Christian Shepherd shows up, and it's because of a smoke detector going off. So that's what leads me to believe that Christian Shepherd is the Man in Black. It's not Jacob.
Interesting.
But he still needs Jack to fulfill his purpose.
Yeah.
So,
well, Jack should be back on the island.
Yeah.
Kate didn't have to be back on the island.
I kind of agree with that, because as far as I think, even looking for, well, I mean, her name still appears in the lighthouse. But so I think there's still a question at that point as to Because remember, they're all candidates to become leadership of the island. And Kate's name is still on that list. So there's the argument to be made that because of that reason, she could be brought to the island. But with the exception of that, I think you're right. I don't really think there's ever a reason for for Kate to return to the island. I think the only purpose she had was
to bring Claire back to Aaron.
To bring Claire back to Aaron. Yeah, to reunite Claire with Aaron.
Yeah.
Because, from the first moment we meet Claire, and it's even reminded again with Hurley this episode, nobody is meant to raise Aaron but Claire.
Right.
So Kate's purpose, is to reunite. And I think that's exactly why she goes back. I think that's even her reasoning for going back when she does. Is she needs to find Claire. That's her mission when she returns to the island.
Yeah.
So, man, we're just starting down the rabbit hole with Crazy Claire. That all begins this episode.
I love it.
Yeah.
It's sad, but it's funny because Danielle Russo just died, and now Claire is about to almost pick up the helm right where Danielle leaves off.
The only difference this time is that Rousseau was on her own. Claire is pretty much with the Men in Black the whole time.
Yes.
Who's taking the form of her father.
Well, you learn from your mistakes.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly. Which is another interesting point too. We do kind of get a little revelation this episode in that other people can see Christian Shepherd. Because Miles tells Sawyer, I would have followed them.
Yeah. Well, no, but he sees everything for his power.
Do you think it's his power, or do you think he legitimately saw him?
I think that it's his clairvoyance.
But I don't know, because the Man in Black is technically not dead.
I don't think that Sawyer would have seen him.
I don't know. It's an interesting theory to ponder. I think Miles saw him. But maybe you're right. Maybe it was just his clairvoyance, because he does figure out about Rousseau and Carl.
That was so cool. It's like, who's Danielle and Carl? And they're like, what?
Yeah. And then,
he's proven that he's creepy like that already, right?
Yeah.
No, I mean to them.
Oh no, I don't think he's revealed that about himself at all to them at all about that. Or has he? No, I don't think it was to them. I think it was to the beach survivors.
Okay.
That he did it. So he never did it to Sawyer and Claire.
Okay.
I think it was more when they were looking for Naomi and such that they discovered, the beach survivors discovered that about Miles. And he's never really been completely clear about it either. Because when Sawyer asks him, how did you know, or how do you know those names, he never really answers them. He just goes right to uncovering the bodies. So they're still left with this hint that there's something with him. But
I would feel super unsettled. When they're all camping and they're like, okay, good night. I'd be like, no.
I'm not sleeping.
I need to understand what happened today before we all go night-night.
I find it very interesting, though, that Kimi and his men buried the bodies. They don't seem to me the type to do that. They seem to me that would have been the type to have just left them there.
They were shallow. So my guess is that they were just trying to cover it up, not to raise suspicion.
Okay.
Because, he dusted it off almost immediately.
Oh, yeah. They were very shallow graves.
Right. So my guess is it's do a quick cover up and then let's go.
But that still takes an effort that I just didn't even see Kimi's men being willing to do. Because that just takes time away from their mission.
I was going to make the argument that maybe Alex did it, but she was taken pretty much immediately. So.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, she gave herself up. She surrendered immediately.
Speaking of Kimi and all of them, I found it kind of cool that we got to see all four of the new group members for lack of a better word, the helicopter people. We got to see Frank Lapidus, Miles, Charlotte, and Daniel Faraday all in this episode.
Yeah, the only one we didn't get was Naomi, but that's because she's dead.
Well, that's because she's dead. She real dead.
Yeah, I'm really leaning again. We talked about this last week, and we said we were going to wait until we actually see it. I'm remembering a little bit more clearly that it's Lapidus takes Kimi and his men back to the boat, and it's then that they kill the doctor and dump him overboard.
Well, we already said we're gonna cross that bridge when we get to it.
Yeah, it's next episode, so we'll be there soon enough. But yeah, I mean, you're right. Seeing Lapidus, I love Lapidus. I don't even know
too.
why I love him.
I don't. He's just so likable.
He has that he just has that kind of you're my crazy uncle.
Yeah.
But that will buy me beer.
Yes.
Feeling to him.
Yes. he's the old uncle that runs up and says, "The cops are coming. Hide."
Yes. Exactly. He's the kind of crazy uncle that if you were over visiting his house, you discovered his weed, he'd smoke it with you.
Yes, totally. But also he's kind of all business too.
Well, I mean, but even still, he's another one that kind of like Faraday that is he doesn't want anybody getting hurt. He's
right.
The one that when he knows Kimi's men are coming and he comes across Sawyer and Miles and Claire and the baby.
Yeah.
He plays no games. He doesn't question why they're there. He's no, you need to hide right now.
Yeah. And he had the little phone and it showed all the colors coming toward him.
I mean, and even though it showed desperation, when he realized Kimi was about to find them because of Aaron's baby, he's no, Mr. Kid, we got to go right now.
Yeah.
I'm not fooling. If you want to go, I'm not wasting any time. Let's go right now.
Yeah.
Because you're right, he's all business. So, but yeah, I don't know why I love him so much, but
I think we all do.
I love Lapidus so much.
Yeah. Because he's wonderful.
What else you got? I got a couple more things, but I want to turn it back over to you in case you have anything else.
So my phone closed, which means that my notes closed. So I'm just trying to get back to it real quick. I realized it was going to take a little longer, so I had to say something.
And this is what we call in podcasting and radio vamping.
Yes, I vamped. I did the vamping. So, well, I mean, we've talked about Hurley and Bernard and Christian Shepherd. I do have a question. Jack says very specifically in the flash forward during that last kind of blow up scene, you're not even related to him.
I'm glad you brought this up.
So where are we in the timeline here? Has he figured out that Aaron is his nephew?
No, because I don't think he knows he's related to Claire yet.
When does that happen then? Because they've already been there for 2 years, right?
Where? They've been where for 2 years?
Back home. Baby is at least 2 years old.
Yes. It's funny you bring that up, too, because one of my notes, and I'll mention this really quick in passing, in the very beginning when he's reading the newspaper.
What's the date?
It doesn't say a date, but it says Yankees bludgeon Red Sox. And there's actually some mention in there about the score. That is an actual World Series that happened in 2007.
So it's been 3 years.
It's been about 2 to 3 years that they've been home.
Perfect, because that's how old that kid is, and I'm glad that we've kind of established that a little bit indirectly.
Yeah, so they've been home.
Aaron went from newborn to big boy bed.
Yeah, they've been home for at least 2 to 3 years at this point.
Okay.
Yeah,
but see, I don't remember what changed Jack's mind on seeing Aaron, and so I was wondering if that's what changed his mind, that he was family, because I can't remember.
I can't either, and I'm wondering if we're going to get that,
because that's a very specific sentence to say, because Jack could have said we're not even related to him, but he said you're not even related to him.
Or even simply, if he wanted to really just hit Kate with that like he did, you're right. That's a very specific phrase to say. Like, you're not even related to him, implying that I am.
Right.
But if he didn't want to make that implication, he could have simply said, you're not even his mother.
Yeah, right. Exactly. You're not his mom. You're not Claire.
There are other ways he could have said that.
It was very carefully worded.
Yes.
Right. I agree.
Yeah.
That was the last thing that I had to say about the episode.
When it comes to Jack and Claire too, I find it very interesting. Again, there are literary references that this show uses all the time, and there is another one in this episode in the book that Jack is reading Aaron. It's Alice in Wonderland.
Yeah.
Which, when you think about it, earlier on in the series, when Jack is chasing the Christian Shepherd through the jungle, and people ask where he is, Locke says to people he's chasing the white rabbit. And then we get actual white rabbits with Ben. So there are other Alice in Wonderland references, and we even use it in the podcast when I wrap up the podcast with Down the Rabbit Hole.
Down the rabbit hole.
I think, and I don't even know why I chose that phrase. I think it was just something that I thought about.
Yeah.
And now it makes a lot of sense. I kind of probably had that like deep rooted in my head from this show that you think about Alice in Wonderland and the rabbit hole. So
that's interesting.
So I just love the reference to Alice in Wonderland in this episode.
Well, I'll do you one better because I just read a weird piece of trivia just now, and this is kind of crazy, but it says Kate and Jack are caring for Aaron together for this very brief period. Richard Malkin once convinced Claire to give up her child for adoption to a couple in Los Angeles who he said were good people.
Okay. Wait a minute.
Just let that marinate for a sec.
Okay, so are you thinking that was originally supposed to be Jack and Kate? I mean, I wouldn't be surprised because of the time travel element of everything that's happening.
I mean, you want to talk about down a rabbit hole? Let's go down that rabbit hole.
Because he does never name the couple.
And we never hear about the couple once this baby arrives, which you know that there's a couple that's like, we were supposed to have a baby.
So do you think Malkin, when he said that, was originally referring to Kate and Jack?
I mean, the whole thing is weird, man.
I know. This goes right along with my two smoke monsters theory.
I know.
I love it. I really do. Because I'm kind of stumped. I can't deny that. Like I can't think of anything that goes against it.
Mm-mm.
It's
interesting.
Yeah, I love it. I really do. That's awesome. That's all I've got for this episode.
So we're just going to leave everybody to marinate on that.
Just sit on that for a week till we start talking about some other stuff.
I just thought that was great because as you're talking about Alice in Wonderland, I look over real quick at the screen and it said Jack and Kate and Aaron. I said, oh, what does that say? And I'm just like, holy shit.
I like it.
I mean, Jack and Kate aren't really quote unquote good people, but they're good people.
Yeah. I like it. I like the theory. It's something that never crossed my mind before, and now I can't stop thinking about it.
Now, I know, right? So, hey, if anybody has any thoughts on this, please let us know. Private message us. Do whatever you can. You want to tell them how they can do that?
Yeah. Comment on Facebook. Do what you can. But on Facebook at facebook.com/Lost Revisited for our page.
You could go on Twitter at Lost Revisit Pod, or you could go on Instagram at Lost Revisited Pod.
You can email us at lostrevisitedpod@gmail.com.
And if you'd like to leave us a message about all of our crazy new theories that we've had the past couple of weeks, you can record it yourself, send it to our email address.
Yeah, and we actually have two pieces of feedback too. We have our weekly voicemail from our buddy Steve. But I want to mention Maria Lawson, who posted on the Facebook page when we posted the episode. She said, I have watched Lost twice through and never had the thought of there being two smoke monsters, with the mind-blown emoji. Great theory. So I love the fact that people are going into that as well.
Me too.
So it's just so much fun.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we have a voicemail from our friend Steve as well. So let's go ahead and take a listen.
Hey, Kristen and Ben, this is Steve, and just about to start my second watch of Something Nice Back Home. Yeah, that's it. And we have another eye-opening scene, and Jack is about to collapse. I didn't look closely the first time through, but this time through I looked closely. I didn't like it, but I had to. I don't see the scar. Shouldn't there be a scar? Hey, I guess there is a scar there. I just saw it in the mirror. Love that we finally get a glimpse into his power. Your very, very bad attitude. I just love Daniel Faraday. Why send both of them? Do you need both of them to help? Yes, Daniel did say us and we, so absolutely love how protective Sawyer has become of his friends. And we're back to Dick Jack. She's a doctor, Jack, just like you, okay? Maybe she hasn't done this surgery in a while, but gosh, don't be a dick. Wait, did any of his team die? Did the smoke monster not kill any of them? It's interesting. Not only does she speak Korean, but she knows some of their mannerisms. Because if I remember correctly, that's a very common way to answer a question like that, not verbally, but just with a nod of the head. We saw Jin do something similar in an earlier episode when he was ordered to do something that he didn't really want to do. Something Nice Back Home. He said the name of the episode. And more of the Dick Jack is out. And this is the beginning of the Claire crazy storyline, right? If I remember, I don't remember exactly what's going on there. So, all right. Can't wait to hear you guys talk about this one. Bye.
Back to the Dick Jack.
We're back to the Dick Jack.
You know what would have been the perfect answer, too, for when Jack was like, Juliet, when's the last time you did this? I'd be like, hey, spinal surgeon, when's the last time you did an appendectomy?
Yeah, exactly. I think about this too, and I meant to bring this up earlier and I didn't. We're seeing two completely different Juliets when it comes to surgery. Like, she was the assistant to Jack in the last time, and she was kind of timid. She kind of felt out of her comfort zone. And this time around, she's completely confident. I know what I'm doing. I'm getting this done. I'm doing it my way.
Well, Bernard agreed. So that's all that matters.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, and I forgot to bring up the whole Bernard is the one that actually mentions the title of the episode. In the Something Nice, when he tells Jack, like, think of something nice back home. Trying to get him to calm down before the surgery.
I love Bernard.
I love Steve's voicemails too. I like that they're kind of like his commentary to the episode, because you could tell he's watching the episode as he's leaving the notes.
Yeah.
And it just becomes fun to listen to, and he's getting better at like little quirks and little quips throughout the episodes, like, and we're back to Dick Jack.
Yeah. Well, I think we can all agree that this is not the best version of Jack. We're not seeing Jack on his best day here.
We were being kind when we said arrogant.
Yeah.
He's a dick.
Steve gets to say that stuff.
Yeah.
We have to think of $5 and $6 words instead.
Yeah, exactly. But yeah, thanks, Steve, for the feedback as always. Again, we listed off ways to do it. We encourage you to leave us feedback for anything that we say, whether if you think we're crazy in our theories, if you agree with our theories, if you have theories of your own, like the episode, love the episode, let us know, leave us some feedback. And we like reading them and playing them on the episode.
Yep.
So that leads us to our recommendations for the week. I'll turn it over to you. What do you got for the
Peaky
listeners?
Blinders, man. Watch it. Peaky Blinders.
Was that your recommendation last week too?
Yeah, it's going to be my recommendation again, because each
finish
season is 6 episodes. It's super quick to get through. There's like 36 episodes, probably 31.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
And I think that they're doing a movie.
Yeah, I think you're right. I think I did read somewhere that they're doing a movie about, they're doing a Peaky Blinders movie.
And I saw at Game of Thrones fans, Aidan Gillen is going to be in one of the later seasons that I've seen pictures of. And Tom Hardy is in the second season. And Anya, whatever, Joy, the Queen's Gambit girl. She's apparently in it as well because I've seen her on the pictures. The whole show is fantastic. The whole thing. I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
Okay.
Also, if I have a recommendation for somebody not to do something, I'm on a big book reading binge right now. And I can tell you right now, do not bother with the book Where the Crawdads Sing. Don't bother with it.
I've never even heard of it.
It's, it's one of those books. It's like a Reese Witherspoon book club book or whatever. It is not worth the time.
Is it paper garbage?
I think it's paper garbage.
Paper garbage? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. My recommendation for the week, obviously I have to continue to recommend WandaVision because WandaVision is outstanding.
And I've seen it and I agree.
Yeah, you're finally...
I approve this message.
You got caught up, and then this week, I know, I already watched this week's, you have yet to, and you're going to text me when you do. Not because I'm asking you to, because you're going to want to. You're going to want to. But my other recommendation for this week is the new sci-fi series, Resident Alien. I told you about this earlier today. This show, it's Alan Tudyk as a fish out of water, literally alien out of space series. It's part comedy, it's part drama, it's part mystery, it's part medical procedural. It's literally so many different elements, but Alan Tudyk is brilliant. And I don't think I've ever laughed that hard at an episode seeing it for the first time.
That's awesome.
The show is absolutely brilliant. I love it so much. So if you can, it's on Sci-Fi. It's only 4 episodes in so far, so easy to get caught up on. Check out Resident Alien. It's amazing. So next week, next episode of the podcast, season 10, episode 11, Cabin Fever, which is a Locke-centric episode. And also Crazy Claire episode. We're going to get more Claire in this episode as well.
Well, all right.
So it's going to be interesting. And it is the penultimate before the 3-part finale of season 4.
3-part finale.
That's what it is.
No, I know. It's just funny.
And I think I think we're going to cover it part 1 as one episode and then parts 2 and 3.
Okay.
As the second, because that's how it aired.
Okay.
So I think it just makes a lot of sense to cover it that way. So, I mean, with that being said, there's 3 more episodes before we wrap up season 4, our coverage of season 4. Any final notes before we take it out?
Nope. I'm good.
Nothing from me either. Depending on where you are in the country, whether you're in the Midwest down south or in the Northeast, wherever you are, I hope you're staying warm. I hope you're staying safe. People without power, people without water. Stay safe. Help others when you can, because there are people that need assistance right now, whether you're there or you can do it from afar.
Yeah.
We encourage you to do it.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
But other than that, I think that's going to wrap it up for the episode. Thank you for listening, as always. And until next time, we'll see you guys further on down that rabbit hole. Take care.
Bye bye.
We have to go back, Kate. We have to go back!